That's episode 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Well, guys, welcome back to BORC for episode 4. Yes, for MotoZA, the chat show brought to you by MotoZA, the South African Renaissance, fueled by Weather Garage and powered by Liquid Moly. Once again, host Ziggy Brodalka and Matt Gildenhuys.
How's it, guys?
Thanks for joining us, and today we have the other Engelbrecht here, the actual Anton Engelbrecht.
The old famous one.
The old famous one.
Old.
we spoke to your son earlier today, and that was very interesting. And 2 apples from one tree, right?
100%.
So
gave us some good insight. We're hoping you can get a little bit better.
I hope so.
So yeah, we have for the North versus South. I believe it's the 10th annual North versus South meeting.
Theoretically, it should have been the 10th one, but I remembered actually earlier in 2020. Remember when we had COVID? So this would actually be the 9th one.
Oh,
although we started in 2013. But
okay,
yeah.
I completely forgot about COVID.
COVID one that we
yes.
skipped. Yeah. So
but
hopefully, we'll make it up. Next year will be 10 years, obviously.
Yes.
And
oh wow.
also going to be over a long weekend in August, which will be a bit cooler and hopefully a bit less wind.
Oh, you've already planned for next year?
Yeah, already planned, yeah.
Oh, lekker.
So,
how come this year was this date then?
I don't know. I think just because our dates fell and people shifting, dates around for especially the MSA National Motocross and stuff like that. But next year's all planned. I think it's the 8th or 9th and 10th of August.
Okay.
Also a long weekend, which the guys are speaking, it's going to be a 2-day event.
Okay.
Oh, that'll be amazing.
That's going to be interesting.
Because one day is quite jam-packed, I must be honest.
It is, It's too rushed and everything.
And have you already come to some sort of arrangement that is it going to be qualifying and first heat on the one day and then last 2 heats on a Sunday?
Yeah, it'll be like a normal practice, obviously the morning on, I don't know if it's a Saturday or Sunday.
Okay.
But, and then obviously a time practice, depending on the numbers, positions on the gates and stuff like that. But and then we'll have 1 heat the afternoon.
Yes.
And then the track will be prepped again and watered again. And obviously, I think the Sunday will be a sighting lap, I presume.
Yes.
Yeah, just a quick one.
A sighting lap and get the racing done. And hopefully we finish at 3-4 o'clock the afternoon.
Okay. And then the
nice prize giving and stuff like that. So
but there'll be no rugby then?
No.
Hopefully.
No rugby.
Well, hopefully at that time we're world champions as well,
Of course.
Yes, of course.
So Anton, we know a lot more about Tyson, but we were speaking now, and you actually started motocross in 1983, correct?
83, yeah. Actually, but in the army as well. I did my 2-year stint, 1981 and 82, and my dad then would never buy me a bike. The closest I got was a racing bicycle,
Okay.
which I went to school with every day. And so what happened is, my neighbor Brian Smith, his brother and him, they were into these chopped road bikes and stuff. And
all right.
I was fascinated with this, but obviously I couldn't get one due to my parents.
Yes.
So in the army, the guy that slept next to me and the other side of me, they said, they were listening how I was speaking about road bikes and stuff like that. And they said, why don't you just, our first weekend pass, come join us and try our off-road bikes. They had like PE 175s with the twin shocks at the back.
Jeepers.
So we all met up weekend pass, and at that stage Bloemfontein didn't have any motocross tracks at that time, but they did before the time.
So was it just adventure riding out?
Like a bit of off-road, and we used to ride. We used to have make our own little motocross tracks out here on the edge of Bloemfontein and stuff like that. And then one day a guy came there with a little KX 125. I just loved the sound of it. Still those old cakes, you remember, with a number plate on the back fender like that.
Yes.
Yeah, and I rode this thing and I just fell in love with it. And ironically, in that same year, our first chairman of Bloemfontein Off-Road Club didn't exist at that time. Barry Berger. He was a member at the Rover Motocross track, and his son Carl Berger. I don't know if you remember those guys. He was like a good 125 junior riders rider in those years.
Okay.
They came up, and a lot of guys came together at a Halloween House Hotel in Bloemfontein, and I think it was in 1983 BRC, Bloemfontein Off-Road Club, was formed in the hotel. And our first track was like, yeah, in a hotel, brandy. A lot of drinking, yeah. And we got a guy that was part of the committee at that time. He had a farm like 30 k's out of Bloem. It was called Groenteplain.
Okay.
And that's where we started. They built a track there, and we raced them probably for 2 years.
Just like club level?
Yeah, no, we had like regional motocross started again, because I mean Free State had no regional motocross at that time. Because I remember we used to have Kroonstad and Bethlehem, and in the old days Bloemfontein, and it all died down.
Okay.
And that's where Free State regional MX started again.
Okay.
And so we were there for like 2 years, I presume, and then one day one of the members forgot to close the gate, and the guys, one of his cows walked across the tar road, because like a main road to Tabanchu.
Okay.
And the cow got killed, and luckily the people weren't injured and stuff like that. So we were like sort of bundled out there. So we went to the Bloemfontein municipality at that time and asked, like, we need a space, we need sports grounds, whatever.
Yes.
So they put us in Bloemfontein. It was a place called Hillside, just like on the edge of Bloemfontein, but terrible ground. Just like
the soil.
If it rained there, the ambulances had to be towed out with a tractor and stuff like that. So
how old were you at this time?
I was like 22, 23, you know, or 21. I guess,
so you started in those years. You started relatively late.
Yes, I started relatively late, and my stiffest competition in those days was Richard van der Westhuizen's father.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and his uncle. Richard, at least Andre was a fantastic racer, very talented.
Okay.
And like I told you earlier, I only managed to beat him once, but he crashed. So and his wife's brother, a guy by the name of Thomas Hamner, also used to race. It always used to be between the three of us in the 125 senior class.
Okay.
And eventually I went on, and I eventually managed to win two Free State championships in those years.
That's cool.
In the late 80s and early 90s. And that's where, and then obviously the
sons came along.
Tyson and Blaze. And at one stage we were all riding motocross. Sometimes him 2 classes, Blaze like in the 50 class, and I was riding still 250 senior class at that time, and eventually I moved over to the vets class, but eventually it got too much.
Of course.
You had to concentrate on their racing. I mean, between choppy and running between myself and the kids and stuff like that, it was hectic.
Long day in the sun.
A long day, yes. I remember, in actual fact, once I broke my ankle, it wasn't time to take me to hospital. I had to sit here in a chair on the start,
No ways.
Wait till their races were done, and then when they were all cleaned up and everything was packed, I was taken to hospital.
It sounds like those days duct tape.
Yeah, that's what it was.
There we go.
That's what it was. Awesome, I loved it.
So you've always been involved with this club. Because, I mean, did you ever do the Camel Motocross series in Joburg? Did you travel along?
Yes, I used to go to those holiday Team Green weekends, stuff at Correbrick.
Okay.
And in actual fact, those Team Green weekends, the Hillside track I was speaking about, the second track we moved to, they actually had, I think, 2 or 3 years. They used to have the Team Green weekend there as well. All the Kawasaki guys and stuff like that. It was awesome.
Sure.
Was Russell Campbell involved at that time?
Yeah, he was involved at that time, and it was Derek Graham and the Bergstroms and all the old school guys. It was awesome.
That's very
Marcel
interesting.
Gugay, Roger Moore, those guys. All in actual fact, Carl Prestwood also used to come down before the time and present motocross clinics
Here in
at
Bloemfontein.
the hillside track,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
in the 80s. Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, 1986, 87.
Very
Jeez.
cool.
Yeah,
It's
that
cool
is-
to hear these
Did you guys
backgrounds.
ever get a national series here? I mean, was it part of
No. What happened is the first national, I think it was 1991, because it's quite a. They were developing around the track there, and the people started complaining about the noise
Okay.
to the municipality. So the municipality approaches, guys, you can't be here anymore. So I said, where do we go now? We've got a new piece of ground. So we were just hoping for better soil.
Yes.
And one day we arrived here, they had to cut the lock open there. It was just like
Flash.
pristine felt, you know,
Mm.
long grass like this. It was 1991.
Okay.
And MSA approached us. They said, guys, can you do a national? So we said, yeah, we can, but you're going to have to give us time.
Mm.
How much time do you need? We said, like 3-4 months, you know, just develop here, because there was nothing, no water, no electricity,
Yes.
nothing. So I said, boys, you got 6 weeks.
Wow.
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 6
So,
weeks.
6 weeks.
To build
So
the track
we
as well,
built the
included, eh?
track, correct, yes.
Sure.
So obviously none of this was here. We used to come camp here, there where our track keeper now lives. We used to
Yes.
rent caravans for the weekend, and all our families used to come stay there. And
amazing,
like the
eh?
start wasn't here, it was like totally different to
Okay.
track, yeah. In those years, Russell Campbell used to come inspect the track and stuff like that.
Is it? Was he a track, track
yeah, track inspector, yeah.
for his own purpose?
Yeah.
His own gain.
Yeah, so and that's how we had our first national. And like the first 2-3 years, every national weekend we used to come camp here. All our families involved, Barry
Lekker.
Berger, everyone, also a youngster racing
Yes,
as well.
okay.
And that's what we did. And then Wade Blauer, his dad, Andre Blauer, Wade
Yes.
Blauer, the off-road racer,
Yes.
very good motocross racer
Okay.
as well, and his brother Sean, who unfortunately passed away
That's
a year or
right.
so ago.
They had
They
cancer.
came here
Sean,
and they
he
built,
did that freestyle stuff.
yeah.
Sean Blau from here.
No, I
Yeah.
haven't. That doesn't recall.
But anyway, that pit there, that double-decker pit there, was what didn't look like it. It was a normal pit, like one of these with a.
Don't tell me that was a clubhouse.
Yeah. And no.
Oh.
Then that was built, and then we started building the clubhouse, and then eventually it developed onto, because we always used to rent these portable toilets.
Mm.
Yeah.
So we actually, I think it was about 1993. I remember Derek Peak
Oh,
and
the
his dad
commentator.
Brian
Yeah.
Yes.
were here, and it was flippin' cold. And I think it was a junior motocross race
Okay.
where the two bodies amalgamated with MSA. There was like a huge, everyone came together, of the different bodies of motocross.
Yes, at
whatever.
that point there was,
Yes.
quite a bit of a...
Yeah, there was actually, in actual fact, a guy in Cape Town, I can't remember his name now, tall guy with a beard, he instigated or started the whole thing, yeah.
I remember that.
And that was where junior motocross and senior motocross, for the first time in the history of South African motocross, got together here.
I would
Yeah,
love to know who that guy is
Yeah.
from Cape Town. I'd love to know who that is.
Yes.
When you speak to Derek, I always know, and
Yeah,
you're going
you'll
to ask
know.
me the name and I can't remember.
Yeah, you'll know.
Not Buddy Chandler.
No, it wasn't Bunny Chandler.
No,
but
no.
Yeah,
Oh, that's in for another
So
time.
he brought it together to create the
yeah,
MSA.
created the whole thing.
Yeah.
And that's where...
Cheatham.
No, it wasn't Cheatham. No, man. Well, we'll
Anyway.
maybe think of it later on. And that's where the whole thing started, yeah. And once the first pit was up, you know, everybody, I think Meyering Vermeulen's dad, Wimpy, was the second pit. I think ours was the third one.
Really?
Barry Berger planted these two trees, yeah.
Alright.
Yeah,
So-
he always asked about, and in actual fact, the trees at the start as well as he's doing as well.
That's
Okay.
very nice.
So Barry Berger was like the founding chairman of BRC.
Alright.
And we must probably been through about 10 chairmans, but all guys that, you know, pulled their weight and did their part.
Yes.
And I've been chairman several years, 15, 20 years, I'm not too sure. But
long
I've-
enough.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is a lot of the youngsters have come in now, and like our current chairman, Stuart Fletcher,
Mm.
he's been vice chairman. We used to alternate it sometimes.
Yes.
But like last year I was still chairman, and I said to him, you know, I think it's time for a change. Get
Yes.
the new blood, new ideas and that type of thing, and they've done a fantastic job.
100%.
So I'm still like a bit of a custodian, yeah.
Custodian.
So,
well, you're part of the furniture, yeah?
yeah, part of the furniture and stuff like that. So been here, involved BRC since 1983. It's been a long time.
That's
Yeah.
solid history. And then, if I may ask, the track building side of things, when did you?
I initially, with the help of other guys like AJ Duplessis, we used to build track. So come spend weekends here, ride, test the jumps and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Those stage we used to be called Chevron Motocross Track company, a local company here that used to give the machinery for nothing in those years. A couple of years, and they really helped us along. I mean, we actually abused them a little bit. But yeah, and we built this track. I mean, with their help as well, in the 6 weeks I was speaking about,
Okay.
we built this track and we moved soil. Yeah, if you look at jumps like Seventh Heaven,
Yes.
Marathon Mountain, there's huge heaps of sand moved here.
No,
Yeah.
But we
100%.
did it. I mean, they used to send these, these big bell dump lorries, and the one machine would be just dumping ground and
And the one rides
yeah,
and
the one building and stuff like that. Then, as Tyson got bigger
Older,
as well,
yeah.
I was probably about 22, 23. He started, building tracks. So by all means, I was like a bit hotful, sun had burned me
By
and
all
stuff
means,
like
take
that,
over.
Take over. And a lot of guys, they pull their weight here. I mean, everyone does his bit here. So we've got a illustrious history here and a strong committee, and the finances are good, and
Yes.
this is what you see here now. It's developed. I think we must probably one of the only 3 clubs still in motocross clubs. I think it's still Rover. I know Zone 7 is like sort of a private club,
Yes.
and Maritzburg, the other club. All the other clubs have come and gone, and
Yes.
we got Welcome. They were off a couple of years, and they back again.
And how's Kimberley?
Yeah, Kimberley, we actually, in actual fact, did a club race here this year.
I heard about that.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was awesome. The ground very similar to ours, the Red Swell,
Okay.
and they put up a flippin' good show. So
Really?
But jumps, nothing major with regards to jumps, eh?
no, look at they're developing. It's not like massive jumps like here or Zone 7
Yeah.
or something, but they're on the right path. They got money behind them, and they got
Okay.
enthusiastic guys as well.
All right.
And then we got one of our trainers here, Myron Vermeulen,
Yeah.
goes there at least once a week, does training there.
Okay. So there's quite a bit of riders out there.
No, he's making a good living. Not a good living there, but he's earning good money
Okay.
there. And sometimes the kids come here and they come train here.
So there's quite a good turnout there if they have a local race. Is it
Yes,
quite a good
yes.
turnout?
Yeah, we're talking here between 50 and 60 riders.
Really?
Between Bloem, Welkom and
Everyone coming together and going.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So obviously the majority of riders are in Bloem.
Yeah.
So things are really going. I mean, we've got a good training thing going here
Yes,
as well.
That's right.
We got Jakkals, Johan Vogler,
Yes.
we got Tyson training kids, and we got Myron.
Yeah,
And
nothing better.
and sometimes the kids, you got to move around, like you said on one of your previous shows. You,
Yes, with
you have to
Shannon.
move around. Maybe
Yeah.
his corner technique or whatever is not as good as the other guys.
And like the youngsters, probably in the previous podcast I mentioned as well, the youngsters adapt differently with different techniques.
Correct.
So
yeah.
Tyson might have something that I can kind of capitalize on, and then if I teach him in a different way, they'll adapt it easier.
Correct. Yeah.
So it is a good thing to
Yeah.
bounce around.
Yeah, it's like a lot of guys will go. They go to Jakkals and they say, okay, Jakkals is on the fitness thing and they condition themselves, and
Yeah.
but then the other guy will come. You want to get fast, whatever. Go to Tyson or whatever.
A lot
so,
of different aspects in the
different
training.
aspects. Myron's got his strong points as well.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win situation. Yeah. So the training is very active. Yeah. Wednesdays, Thursdays. It's busy. Yeah. You know
That's
what I'm
nice.
saying, yeah.
It's actually
And what Tyson said about the entries here, it blew my mind. I didn't think it would be that much.
Yeah,
eh?
no, it's amazing. Youngsters. We also started the Moto Kids program probably about 3 years ago.
Moto Kids,
Moto
what's that
Kids.
about?
It's
from
like
50s
you-
up. So
Anything on a pit bike to a CRF little 50, 70,
Okay.
Peeweed 80, whatever you got. And because 3 years ago, I think we had like 1 or 2 50 riders. Now we got a junior class and we got a senior class.
Wow.
So it's blooming here. I mean, I'll never forget.
Blooming, good words.
booming,
Yeah,
blooming.
blooming or
That is
blooming or whatever. Yeah,
Into a
flowering.
bloom.
So what was I going to say now? So it started like, it's quite funny actually. The first Moto Kids we had, like everyone's here from an Eitel Jet to a PW50.
Yes.
The next one, wow, all on KDMs and Husqvarnas. Or the guys that still got 50s, they got like metal foot pegs on.
Yes.
Yeah, strengthened the frames and
So
stuff.
it definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I'm taking a typical 50 rider that's doing well at the Nationals now, Mason Visser.
Yes.
He
Yes, of
started
course.
Moto Kids here 2 years ago. He was one of them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and we got that little number 506, Ben Jacobs,
Mm.
doing fantastic work.
That's actually a brilliant program, eh? Because the kids need to feed the system.
Yeah, that's what we realized. And now obviously our 65 class is huge. 85 is still a bit small,
Mm.
but I mean, they got the 65s coming through.
Yes, to
And our
feed it.
125 class is probably our biggest class at this stage.
Really?
125 high school, yeah.
Okay, so but like how many riders are roughly on a start gate?
15
Just
On
for
a-
local.
on a regional?
on a
Yes.
regional race.
It's,
Wow.
it's more than Cape Town.
That is
Yeah.
awesome.
At some point.
It is. It is
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, so the numbers are really, and 65s as well, huge.
But
That's
it
very
just shows
cool,
you development.
Yeah,
Development
Basil.
is where we need to focus more on that
Yeah.
point. And like in Cape Town, we got the guy that's working. You call it the development class, pretty much. It's not a racing class per se, but with regards to training and so on, we got
Yeah.
Jan Ryan. Obviously, you know of
Mm.
Jan
yeah,
Ryan.
yes.
He works so well with the junior kids.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's building a good little setup, a base part for the little youngsters there,
Correct.
which is amazing.
Yeah.
And you know, now that you mention it, you won't believe where you found those kids or people at Dirt and Dust.
Yes, out in
Weekend
Durbanville
guys that
side.
just got
Yeah,
any
weekend
kinds of
warriors,
bikes.
yeah.
And then he said, no,
Yeah.
come.
Yeah.
Let me help you guys. And a lot of them is staying and they're racing if they win these races and it's not raining
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Cape
yeah,
Town.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. But yeah, no, so.
But it's
development-
amazing to see like what he's
Yeah.
doing, and now what you're telling us now about this little class. It's
Yeah.
awesome. It's what we need to do.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
need to do that in the sport.
Look, obviously a lot come in the beginning. Everyone's keen and everything.
sure.
But motocross is not an easy sport.
And then
It's
you
tough.
see some.
Yeah, no, some have left and
Yeah.
some have come back in actual fact as well.
Okay.
But we start here at 27 riders, 30 riders, and most probably 8 or 9 eventually stay. If you hear what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then new kids come in again as well,
Okay.
so it's awesome. And then at the Moto Kids, I'm doing the training. Tyson's there, Johan Vogelsang is there, Meyring's there, all help.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
awesome. And then we create like a little bit of a championship. So we do the thing here, the training in the morning from 9 to about 11. Say, guys, on the line, we can have a fun race. They have their little race there, or a relay race, whatever. A little prize giving here.
Nice.
Make
Oh,
it
that's
really
so
feel part
awesome,
of.
eh?
They get medals. Last year we had a sponsor as well. They used to get a bit of a trophy as well. So the Moto Kids has actually become a class, a little
Okay.
championship class. End of the year, the points are totaled up. They go to prize giving.
Nice.
All feel important.
That's amazing.
And it's awesome, really. That's
That's
work
actually
for
very
us.
cool.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
also gives them
So
something to
advise-
smile about.
Other clubs to do it as well.
No.
Stop complaining. Do something about it.
It was also, we were here about 3 weeks ago. We were here just to come practice with the 2 kids that I'm training.
Yeah.
We came up here just to practice for a bit. We were here for 2 days.
Yeah.
And on the last day, because we left the Sunday morning, and on the Saturday, it
Yeah.
was about like roughly lunchtime.
Yeah.
One of the chaps came to our little pit where we were set up and said, "Hey, come onto the start line. Let's go."
Yeah.
right.
That's it. Yeah.
We ended up doing 2 15-minute motos.
Motos. That is so awesome.
But it was also like, okay, they kind of ranked up the people watching them throughout the day.
Yes. Yes.
Which I found that quite interesting. It
Yeah.
wasn't a matter of, hey, just come and do this thing.
Yeah.
They actually judged, well, not judged, they were watching the riders throughout the day. So
Yeah.
when like Callum and Ivan went to the start line, the boys that I was with,
Yeah.
they said, okay, you and you will be with this, and they bunched them
Like
off
a
one by one.
staggered
Yeah,
start type
staggered
of thing.
start.
Yeah.
And it gave all the guys a good chase. It gave the guys in front of them something to, they felt that they were being
Yeah, yeah,
chased.
yeah.
It was just an awesome day. When that happened, I was like, wow, this is interesting. I've never been a part of something
Yeah.
like that, which was very cool.
That is great.
Yeah.
It's actually quite practical.
Yeah, it is, definitely.
So yeah, you excited about tomorrow? And
Yeah. I'm glad about the entries. I was a bit worried.
no, you
Till
said
about probably 2 weeks ago, it was like sitting at 93. Because like 2 years ago, it was at like 320, I think it was, yeah.
no, hectic.
Wow.
But yeah, it was hectic. So, actual fact, those vast numbers is a bit, it's like a,
It's too much.
it's too
But
much.
that's where your 2-day event will come into
Correct.
play.
That'll be better. So we got, checked yesterday, it was 260.
Yeah, 258
Entries, yeah.
or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Two guys, I think Luke Grundy was injured or something. Two guys withdrew.
Okay.
But apparently there were a couple of late entries. Yeah, it's going to 270 now.
Nice.
Yeah. So awesome event. Really, we're looking forward to it. Very festive. I think it's a other atmosphere here. It's like a festive. Guys are relaxed. It's
Yes.
nothing to prove. It's a team thing, and everyone just like. The camaraderie is
There's
awesome.
no championship at
Yeah,
Bay.
no,
Just here
everyone
to
is relaxed. And to have fun, and that's why after all, that's why we ride dirt bikes. Have fun.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. You can't take the fun out of it.
Yeah, no, for sure. Awesome. So we're looking forward, all gear up. Just a bit perturbed by the wind blowing this afternoon.
Feels like
But
I'm
I
in Cape
think the
Town.
guys will pull their weight tonight and get watered down. So water down tonight. I think they're going to rip the track again tonight.
Okay, so it's going to be
then
super deep.
Tomorrow, yeah, I think I'm going to do it deep tomorrow.
What do you do, like 30 mil or 60?
No, it's probably about like it. Yeah, what's like 30 mil, 30
Yeah,
centimeters.
40.
Yeah, 40, okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
41.
Yeah,
41.5 to be exact.
yeah. And brought a bit of excitement back to the track as well.
Yeah, so you guys
Seventh
make
Heaven
quite a bit of
became
changes.
like a bit of a sissy jump, if I can put it that way.
Where is that?
Sissy
Seventh
jump.
Heaven.
Seventh
Oh,
Heaven,
yeah.
yeah. So we 2 weeks ago we had a pre-North versus South. I think about just over 100 riders,
Yeah.
and they said to me I must just go jack Seventh Heaven up a bit. So,
Oh, we heard about it.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
worry, your son has
but it
clearly
was like
explained.
the Wild West. Yeah, in actual fact, in practice with the seniors, and only their second last lap, guys started jumping it, but it was like huge, the Wild West.
Okay.
Yeah, just like it used to be.
Yes, I remember that.
So, but the bikes were landing a bit. You could hear the way the bikes were landing, so thud.
Yeah.
It's like a up and like
A dead drop.
like a dead drop. So Tyson this week just tamed it down a little bit.
Well done, Tyson.
Yeah, so but you can't believe it. At that height, the guys that were jumping it were
I
like,
saw some pictures of 85s.
yeah, 85s
And
doing
you
it,
said
and some guys going like whipping over it as well.
Those 85 riders must be
Yeah.
in there.
No, I think it took a lot of guts to, especially for the 85cc, to jump. I think it's big.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like you say, it's only 33 meters, but you go stand there at 33 meters. It's a far away.
Yeah, it's a distance, huh?
Yeah, but I mean, a couple of North versus South events ago, it was 42 meters.
Yes, I remember
Yeah,
that.
we wanted to compete with Johan's jump there at
Zone
That's
7.
cool.
7. Yeah, they used to brag it was 40 meters, so we made one 41 meters,
Yeah.
And in actual fact, Anthony Reinhardt was the first guy to clear it as well, and he's still on Yamaha those
Yes,
years. Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, but it was awesome.
Well, there's no more 40 meter there now.
No, it's
Can
not.
tame down
Don't
a lot
worry,
as well.
he will demonstrate tomorrow, and we will be watching.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
But I
Okay.
think also,
I'll try
for
something.
the level of riders, I think most of the guys here, North versus South, is more a club, standard riders.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
you don't want to make things dangerous and too difficult.
No, 100%.
So I think for our national next year, hopefully Bloem will have a national next year,
Yeah.
we'll,
extend and build and
extend, just a little bit,
What happened to the national this year, if I may ask?
Man, we Bloemfontein Off-Road Club always used to make money on the nationals, and the big money spinner obviously the North versus South.
Yeah.
But then we have 7 regionals a year, and we make 10 grand loss, 15 grand loss.
okay.
So, doesn't help. We
But
do
to
it
stop-
again and just keep on losing money. So we needed money to put up more infrastructure and stuff like that.
Anton,
Yeah,
we're just gonna pause for an ad break.
yeah.
Evans waterless coolant is the solution to boiling over, so you can push your vehicle like this, and this, and this, without fearing the temperature gauge. Evans waterless coolant. Defeat the heat.
Sorry about that, guys. Quick ad break. Uncle Anton. Can I call you Uncle?
No, just call me Anton.
Please, Worm. Yeah, Worm.
Anton.
So you were elaborating a little bit about the Bloem National this year that didn't unfortunately happen.
So our club made a conscious decision. You know, we want to make money. So so we decided we're gonna try WOMZA for a year, and obviously knowing that we could endanger our national. So we went to MSA, who said, we're going to do our regionals under the WOMZA banner this year. We're going to see how it goes. We've done it before and we know it worked.
Yeah.
So all the members, we took a vote and the members said WOMZA. So we did the WOMZA thing and or decided on the WOMZA thing. And also approached the MSA, say we were more than willing, we'd like to do our national as well. So we were actually, I didn't actually think they would take our national away. It was a bargain, a 50-50. So at the end of the day, MSA decided that because we're not supporting them on a regional level, they're not going to give us a national.
Wow.
So that's the...
Okay, I see the background.
Yeah, the background is. So
it's a
pity, yeah, a lot of guys were complaining and stuff like it, but we stood by what we decided.
Did you find it worked for you this year? I mean,
yes, we're making money at our regional racing.
Awesome.
I must say, yes. And it's just a lot more relaxed and easier to race.
Yeah.
And I think most probably for next year, I think we've made a decision already. We're going to do it again next year.
Okay.
So, but there is talks of a national for Bloemfontein next year.
It has to happen.
Yeah.
There's somewhat
central
in
the country. I mean,
we would love to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, we've spoken to the powers that may be, the MX Commission, MX Commission, and it seems like it's going to be done. So
carry on holding thumbs.
We just hold thumbs that Bloemfontein's on the map again next year.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been doing nationals here since 1991.
Yes.
And a couple of years, well, not a couple, 2 or 3 years, we've had double headers here.
Yeah.
I remember one year when the Welkom Club, they were Gildenhuys Motocross at that time. They had a national, and Bloemfontein had a national, and Paddy Wensky was still the...
Paddy.
Yeah,
Yes,
Paddy
he's my
Wensky
man.
was still the
Paddy
MX
Wensky.
Commission chairman, and he phoned and said, hey, Anton, this is your region. Your regional region of Goldfields Motocross, like, you're going to do 2 this year. So we had to do their date and our date, which we loved. Yeah. And so there's been a couple of nationals at this track already.
No,
plenty nationals. And it's always, even since like from 85 days when I was racing here still.
Yeah.
And obviously 125 high school I also raced here. But it was a perfect show every time.
Yeah, we aim to please.
Yeah,
no, you guys
definitely pulled it off.
No, we put a lot of work in, and we've got committed members. So it's not just like me or one guy. It's like a whole team effort. I mean, we got fantastic club secretary. I mean, she's a workaholic, you know. Sends me SMSs and WhatsApps 2 o'clock in the morning, and she's still working on club stuff like that. So very dedicated people on the committee. And so we just hope we get a national next year.
No, we'll be rooting for you guys, 100%.
Yeah.
We need to see it back on the calendar.
No, absolutely.
In actual fact, not that I want to, this is not a platform, but WOMZA and MSI can really start working a bit more hand in hand.
I think they need to find common ground. I really do think so. Because, I mean, the pool we've got here, maybe 300-400 riders in South Africa, can't afford to have this division.
The split,
the split. You know, they must find common ground or get an organising body, a new one, that everyone can be part of it. You know what I'm saying is, so that's what I'm looking forward to.
Okay.
It will happen. It will happen.
Well, Anton, this was really informative. Even though we stay with you guys, always when we come up and stuff, I didn't know half of these things.
I'm still a youngster, so to hear most of this background is flipping cool. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, thank you.
No, awesome guys. Thank you very much, man.
See you on the track tomorrow.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Thank you, Anton.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
water. For 100 years, we've used water mixed with conventional antifreeze to cool engines because nothing transfers heat better. But water's limitations present multiple challenges. For starters, water's low boiling point can lead to steam generation and an overheated engine, is the root cause of corrosion in your engine, and supports electrolysis, where water acts like a conductor, allowing an electrochemical charge between dissimilar metals that can degrade your radiator over time. For decades, drivers and auto enthusiasts have searched for ways to overcome these age-old issues, but until now, there hasn't been a viable solution. Enter Evans waterless coolant. While most coolants today contain 50% water, Evans doesn't use it at all. Evans features a revolutionary water-free formula that prevents corrosion and doesn't support electrolysis, meaning it won't eat away at engine metals. The biggest difference, though, is Evans' boiling point, 375 degrees, which is far higher than water's at 212 degrees and regular coolants at 235. Unlike water-based coolants, this means Evans won't form vapor in your engine. Why is that important? Because vapor pockets forming between liquid coolant and metal components create a barrier that prevents heat from being drawn away from the engine, which is a coolant's job in the first place. Water conducts heat extremely well as long as it remains a liquid. But quickly and without notice, vaporization takes away nearly all of water's capacity to transfer heat. With vapor existing between engine metals and liquid coolant, hotspots develop in the metal. Pressure builds, the coolant begins to boil, and the engine overheats. When engines overheat, people are stranded on the side of the road, get stuck out in the woods, and lose races. Overheating can ruin not only your day, but under the surface, ruin your engine. Evans is safer and more stable than traditional coolants because it prevents the high pressure levels that lead to boilovers and volcanic radiator eruptions, meaning hoses, seals, and gaskets are less likely to leak and will last longer. From cars to trucks to motorcycles, Evans is an enabler. It allows safe, consistent, and efficient operation in temperature ranges that are simply unreachable with water. Evans handles extreme conditions that put stress on your engine, such as high heat, heavy loads, or blockages that disrupt airflow to the radiator. With Evans, your operating ceiling is raised. Evans does its job well past the point where other coolants fail, even in situations where performance isn't your main objective, such as with classic or vintage cars. Evans helps preserve the engine by eliminating the long-term corrosive effects of water, which is exactly why collectors and museums use Evans to protect their investments. What all this adds up to is the safest, most efficient, and most reliable coolant available. Whether idling in traffic, off-roading, or racing, drivers and riders finally have a solution to the problem water presents. Evans waterless coolant provides permanent protection, reduced maintenance, and enhanced performance, even under the most extreme conditions. Learn more and find out where you can get yours at www.evanscoolant.com.